If anything happens to Violet, it affects the dragon TAIRN. I'm just gonna call him Tamarin for now. It will affect Tamarin. If it affects Tamarin, it will affect S-Gal. Like, why is her identity skinny and weak? There was this other guy called Jack Barlowe, or this wretched rat. Taryn? Is that his name? Taryn? Big Boss T. 3 guys. Jack, some other dummy, and some other dummy. Jack, dummy 1 and dummy 2, decide they want to kill a dragon. The way I started to hate Dain, I really was like, yes, we love him. Then he became her biggest op. Like, this, because to their knowledge, this dragon was not meant to bond with anybody. And now he's bonding with weak and skinny? Disclaimer, I did not find out how to pronounce any of these names till I had finished reading the book, hence all the pronunciations are complete and utter trash. So I am currently reading the book Fourth Wing, and I only have like 100 pages to go, and this was recommended to me by a few of my friends, and I was like, but the book has been really good. I really enjoyed the book so far. So it's mainly a combination of like fantasy mainly and also romance. So you start off with like the main character called Violet, and I'm not gonna lie, for so many of like the first couple pages I was like, why is her identity skinny and weak? I'm so sorry, but it felt like the author really wanted us to know that this girl is skinny AF and weak AF. Like, those are the only 2 descriptors of Violet, skinny and weak. Like, there was nothing else to her. And you start to see, like, in the beginning of the book, like, her dynamic with her family. Like, her mum is very, like, how do I say, like, more like a cold character. Like, is very much in her position, like, this is how things are going to be, and this is what you'll follow. And you kind of see her sister as well, who basically doesn't want her sister, Mira, who's her older sister, doesn't want Violet to become a rider. So in this fantasy world, there's like different roles, and riders have the more dangerous jobs. They like ride the dragons or like fight in combat, whereas Violet originally has been like preparing to be a scribe. So the easiest thing to compare a scribe to is like a librarian. Like, they hold the text, they account for history, like basically anything to do with books and literature. That's what a scribe would do. And her dad was a scribe, so like she originally wanted to be a scribe, but her mum was like, not in this household, not on my watch. So her mum was like, you're either a rider or you did. Like, don't even come to me with this scribe nonsense. So she's been kind of preparing to be a rider, but Mira, who's had experience, knows that this is not the life she wants for her sister. She really wants her sister to basically live a good life. And a rider is not going to allow her sister to live a good life, because it's like such an intense period to get to like stage 1. And then once they get to stage 1, there's so much they go through, which there's a high chance that she won't survive it. Kind of see like the dynamic between the sisters, and like Mira really doesn't want her sister Violet to go through what like the process of having to become a rider, because she doesn't think her sister will survive. But she does prepare her sister. Like, she's like, avoid this person at all costs called Xander. And when I first realized this, I was just like, yeah, this is definitely going to be the person who she ends up being somehow romantically involved with. And I was right. But we end up also finding out that Xander killed her brother. This man killed her brother. But it's also because her mum killed his dad. Or was the reason his dad had to die. But it's like, if my mom is the reason your dad's dead, then why don't you kill my mom? Why did you kill my brother? So, anyways, back to the storyline. she gets to this thing called the parapet. I'm still really struggle to understand what the parapet was. It's like this journey that they had to take either on a rope or across like some brick walls or brick edges or like some type of cliff, but they basically had to get across this parapet and survive to get to level 1 basically. And she met this girl Rhiannon, and they kind of like became friends. And what she did was actually really nice. She gave Rhiannon one of her other boots, and I was like, wow, because if I'm trying to survive, I'm not caring about what your boots look like if they're slippery. If you slip, too damn bad. But she gave Rhiannon one of her boots, and that helped Rhiannon basically get to the other side. And there was this one like guy, Dylan, that they met in the line, who was like, I've got this ring for like either he wanted to marry someone on the outside, and he kissed the ring as like he was kind of confident that he would make it. Guys, the moment he kissed the ring, I knew this guy was gonna die. I knew this guy was not gonna make it. And I was right, he did not make it. Now there was this other guy called Jack Barlowe or Jack something. Now this wretched rat was pushing people off the parapet. Like he was trying to kill people, and he was after Violet. He really was after Violet's life. Wicked man. Anyways, so now they both all pass to level 1, and then we meet Dain. So originally, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Dain was gonna be Rhiannon's man. I was like, oh, so we're gonna get a couple, so Xander with Violet, Rhiannon with Dain. I was wrong. But Dain was with Violet. Well, potentially with Violet. So he was there to take care of kind of Violet, and that was the person her sister Mira said, find this person immediately, like they'll keep you safe. The way I started to hate Dain, like I've never like turned on an individual so quickly. Like Dain, I really was like, yes, we love him, he's protecting our girl. And then he became her biggest op. Like this Dain literally was Violet's biggest hater, and that was the person who's known her since childhood. Like he was trying to get her out of here. So at first I was like, oh, this is out of love. He really doesn't want Violet to be harmed, because like Violet's identity is skinny and weak. Remember, the author has shown us that this girl is not someone who has the capabilities. So fair enough that her bestie wants her to survive and survive in a quadrant. So that's what they call it, quadrants that she originally wanted, which was to be a scribe. But she's like, I've already made it to like level 1, and that was hard. So like, I want to see if it's possible for me to stay, which I respect. You never know what you're capable of till you try. But Dain's like, do not try. And he's really trying to get her to the scribe quadrant. And it gets to the point where it's like, Dain is starting to annoy me, because like Violet's really trying to push herself, but Dain doesn't want her to do any pushing. Dain wants his friend gone. But it's starting to impact her, because it's like, if she's trying to do her best and he's basically justifying wanting her to leave with, you're weak, you're not strong enough, you can't be here, it's going to cause a lot of tension, and it eventually does. So her and Xander, the one who killed her brother, he's after her, basically. He wants to pretty much like deal with her, and he makes it clear to everybody, like, she's my target. When I can harm her, she will be the one I harm. However, they kind of meet in this, was it near some river? She's trying to find poison to basically not ruin her opponent's like chances of beating her. And then she runs into Xander. Well, she didn't run into him. She sees him having a gathering. And these are the rebellious children. These rebellious children are having a meeting, and they're basically not allowed to be in groups more than 3, but they're having like a big group meeting. And if she goes and tells them, they could all like get into serious trouble. So she's thinking, well, like she can hear what they're saying, and she's like, well, in her mind, like, I'm not gonna say anything. what they're saying isn't even that deep. He's just like, they're just trying to encourage the new cadets, basically. A little group meeting between the rebellious sorry, the rebellion relics, or like the rebellious children, to basically what's the best thing for them to survive. So she, in her mind's already made up she's not going to snitch on them. When she finally comes down from the tree, because she's in a tree watching them, Xander appears and awkward. Not even awkward, you're in danger, girl. She is in danger. But she's like, yeah, I have no intention of like basically spilling the secret, and she goes about her day, well, night into the day, and that's kind of how they start not interacting but having that kind of it's not respect, but it's some type of level of understanding. Like, she doesn't intend to blow his secret, he won't kill her for that reason. Dain starts to piss me off. Dain starts to piss me off. Ash. If I had money for every time Dain pissed me off, during the course of reading this book, I would make money. Not gonna lie, I forgot what Dain did. Moving on, like, they're becoming more better as they train. So now it's like the time for them to find their dragon. So like, this is to determine if you will really become a rider, because like, you need to find the right dragon for you. And these two guys, well, three guys, Jack, some other dummy, and some other dummy, Jack, dummy 1 and dummy 2, decide they want to kill a dragon because the dragon's weak. And she's like, no, like, in her mind she's like, no, this is unacceptable. Again, this is at a stage where they can't have any help from their leaders, so she basically wants to go and protect this like dragon that's pretty weak. And she basically kind of risks her life, not life, but she gets quite injured in the process, because it's like 3 against 1, and these are one person who really wants to kill her, the other one who kind of does, and the other one who's just herd mentality, like he's just following the dummies. So they all are technically stronger than her, and they all want to kill her and this dragon. So they're like, buy one get one free. We kill her, we kill the dragon.
Another day, another slay, period.
She's trying to like fight them all off, telling the dragon to fly. The dragon refuses to fly. All of a sudden, the big dragon, the main like dragon that hasn't been paired with anybody in a long time, like, comes out, and this is a big this is like the big boss, as they would say, and he basically comes to Thingy's defense, burns one to ash, and the other one runs away. And I think the other one gets injured in the neck or something. But yeah, and then he decides that you'll become her dragon. And everyone, when they finally get back to like the main field, are like, isn't this the dragon we read about in our history books? What's he doing here? Because to their knowledge, this dragon was not meant to bond with anybody. And now he's bonding with weak and skinny? So then, not only does the big boss, TAIRN? Is that his name? TAIRN? Big boss T decides to bond with her, but Andarna decides she also wants to bond. So not only has Violet bonded with one powerful dragon, she's also bonded with another dragon. So that caused a lot of stir, but eventually she's allowed to bond with both of them. However, her mom and the like heads are not that happy, because it's like, why is 2 dragons allowed to bond with one rider? But they can't say anything, because in their world, the dragons don't listen to humans. What the dragon wants, they get. So this is where things get even more messy. So Xander, remember, the person who Loki's trying to kill her, but he's not trying to kill her anymore. His dragon is called Eskel, and Eskel and Tamrin, Big T, are couples. So that means their riders need to survive, because if like a rider kind of dies, it can affect the like the I was gonna say mental health, but it can affect the dragon. So basically, Violet can't die because if Violet dies, Tamarin, the dragon, the big dragon, will be affected, and that will affect Esgel, and that will affect Xander. So they're all kind of connected. So if anything happens to Violet, it affects the dragon Tamarin. I'm just gonna call him Tamarin for now. It will affect Tamarin. If it affects Tamarin, it will affect Esgel. If it affects Esgel, it affects Xander. So he can't actually harm Violet anymore because it will if he does her, he's gonna do himself. So now he has to figure out a way to like get Violet strong enough to like kind of survive, because like she's bonded with a powerful dragon, but remember, she's not powerful. She's skinny and weak. She actually become pretty strong, but remember, they don't want this girl to be strong. They want her to be, I can't do anything. So he kind of starts to help her like train more, and then that's kind of how they start to get closer and closer. And then Dain doesn't like that because, you know, Dain, Mr. Trifling individual. And Dain really shows that he's a hater, because he's like, how did you manage to do all of this? He's basically chatting-ish at her. And then even the dragon's like, tell him if he touches you, I'll turn him to ash. Yeah, Dain starts to really annoy me. Of all the times Dain annoyed me. Too much. I'm now currently at the stage where her sister, she's in training, and her sister comes to kind of run some of the sessions. And that started to remind me why we hate Xander. Like, I feel like because they started to become close and get all cutesy, I thought, Xander's really cute. But then I remembered, Xander is trifling. Xander killed your brother, and Xander really wanted to kill you. Like, so I couldn't sit there comfortably knowing that I was keying, like, I was happy, I was reading, I was like, oh my gosh, Xander, he's a murderer. But so's your mom. So I'm currently now at the point where there's been like an invasion, so she's had to be separated from her sister. But her sister so far is alive, and that's up to date with where I'm in the book. I forgot what chapter I'm in exactly, but that's how much I've read so far in the book. And then my next video is going to be all the things I've highlighted in the books, and like all the funny parts, or the things I found funny or dumb or annoying, because the amount of stuff I highlighted in this book was so funny. Okay, so I just finished reading what's it called, Fourth Wing. Like, the whole book is finished now, and when I tell you, I'm like so shocked. Wait, I'm trying to figure out the best angle. I'm so shocked how it ended. Like, I don't I'm actually confused, like, how many people survived, are alive, are not alive. Oh my gosh. I need to go through everything that happened in my brain. Like, I don't know what I read, but it actually was an amazing book. I feel like it's one of the few books, like first few books I've read that I'm like 5 out of 5. Like, it was a really good book, and like everything just went well. All the storylines went well together. Towards the end, I'm not gonna lie, I really became a hater of Xanden. I get they are meant to be like the romance couple, but I really was plotting for his downfall. I was like, Violet, don't forgive that man. When he kissed her when she woke up, I was just like, it's been like less than 5 minutes and his tongue is already down her throat. Bring back shame. But yeah, it actually was a really good book, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.